We're here at the
TASL
Embassy Suites Conference Center for the, I think they're calling it TASLCon. Is that a thing or no? Did I just make that up? Okay.
It is called that.
Should have brought your sunglasses. TASL is our state school librarians association, and this weekend is our state conference. So lucky for us, it's not too far from home.
It's not.
So we're able to go.
Yeah.
I know for me, this is my third year in the library. I taught math for 10 years before that, and I really enjoy being in the library. However, it's not as natural for me as it was being in the classroom. And I really kind of realized that last spring. So at the end of last school year, we both joined TASL. We did some PD over the summer that they offered, which we had a good experience at.
Yeah.
And now here we are at the state conference, just trying to get better.
Absolutely. Yeah.
At what we do. So we're looking forward to the weekend. We got 3 days of it. We're hoping to get some good information to bring back into both of our libraries at White House and also to share with our fellow librarians at the county.
Yeah, absolutely. We're excited. All right, we're here for conference day. This is the long conference day with lots of awesome sessions. So we each chose 6. We're trying to go to different ones because our school has 2 libraries, so we want to make the most of opportunities like this and get as much information as possible. So we'll come back together and debrief. It's going to be a fun day.
We'll try to take some video along the way if we can. We really don't know how it's going to go, but we'll try to bring them along for the ride, and we'll show you where we're headed for lunch because that's really important.
Always important.
Give me 2 sentences about your first session.
The host was awesome, and we have lots of great ideas.
Same for me. Awesome host and some really good ideas that I think we can adapt to our libraries. You ready for the next session?
Very much so.
You ready? Are you ready for lunch?
So ready. Okay, we just finished up the morning sessions of TASLCon. I've been corrected, it's called TASLCon. And getting ready to go to lunch. So my second session was awesome. It was meeting with 5 different authors, well, 4 authors and 1 illustrator that are all from this area. And so one is an environmental lawyer and musician and author. He has like 4 books, and they're high school books. We have one of them, and I'm gonna order the other 3.
Talk about a well-rounded person.
Yes, really cool. So I think that was my favorite part of meeting them, was just getting their background. And I don't know, I mean, he came in leather jacket, did not look like an environmental lawyer, an author, cool. Really cool.
Real cool.
Tell me about your second session, Coach.
I went to sorry, I'm trying to find my way out of here.
You're good. We're trying to find lunch, so priorities.
Listen, we know where we're going. Okay, that's not an issue.
It's a matter of getting there.
But anyways, I went to technology integration for TEL, for the Tennessee Electronic Library.
Okay.
And I was a little nervous going in that it was going to be things that I already knew, and a tiny bit of it was. But I got a lot of really good ideas to share with our teachers.
Oh, cool.
So while I was sitting there and while she was presenting, I was just thinking about how to package that into 1 or 2 different little things to
send out
to give to the teachers. Well, hopefully in person.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and also as a send out, because I know that not everybody will probably be able to make it to whenever I do it in person. But really useful things about getting kids into certain databases depending on the need. And yeah, I think I'll just leave it at that without going too much into it.
Cool.
but it was good. I'm glad I went to it.
So far, a lot of great things at TASL, and we are excited for lunch and the afternoon sessions, right?
Right, we're going to Chipotle for lunch.
We're going to Chipotle for lunch.
And I love Chipotle.
Life is good, people. Don't ever forget that.
All right. Long day of conference. We are
That
headed
was a full
home.
day. That was
It was a full
I've been
day.
to, I'm sure you have too, but I've been to a number of different conferences
It was.
in my career, and that was a long day of sessions.
It was.
Yeah,
It was.
they filled the day for sure.
Definitely. Tell me about your afternoon session.
Afternoon was good. A lot of different but interesting sessions that I went to. I think there were less this afternoon. I think there were less like takeaways for me as compared to the morning ones. Like less things for me to actually take back to White House and do in the library. But that doesn't mean that the afternoon sessions weren't interesting. Just less for me to act on when we get home.
Yes.
How about you?
Kind of the same.
As I try not to crash this here.
Got some options for doing virtual things with the library. I'm not sure if we'll use them, but it's nice to know what other tools or resources are available. So,
Cool.
again, new information from other librarians across the state for us to ponder on and see if it's applicable for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So, what was your favorite session of the day? Or favorite topic? Favorite takeaway?
Well, based on what I just said, it's got to be something from the morning. So I would say my favorite session, both in interest and in things to do, was probably the Ditching Dewey session that I went to, which was actually a virtual one.
It was.
It was a librarian from like Southeast Pennsylvania, I believe, and just, with what we've done this year in the library so far with our massive weeding project.
Yes.
And especially, well, really all the books, but especially the nonfiction, right? And really the main goal of that we've talked about on the podcast, we've talked about with each other, we've talked about with teachers and admin. The main goal of that was to make the library more accessible and browsable by our students, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And so I think the next step for that is to take that a step further with the nonfiction.
Right.
And that's a whole lot of words for me saying that's what that session was about. It was about taking the nonfiction section in a high school library and making it more easily browsable and meaningful and relatable for high school students. And
so like this process that we've been already working on, you're actually given the next step for and didn't really know that's what you were going to get.
And given the next step too, like in a way that it wasn't like do exactly this, right? It was like you have to consider this variable and that variable and make it meaningful for your school and your library and your student body, which I appreciated. And it seems like it's going to take a little bit more conversation and forethought together, you and I.
It's not going to be as straightforward.
It's not going to be as straight. It's just going to take more planning. I think once the planning is done, then it is straightforward, right?
Yeah.
But the planning process is a little bit more involved maybe than what we've done up to this point. And I'm totally okay with that because I think that
it's going to be worth it.
It's going to be totally worth it. It's going to be totally worth it.
Yes. So that's exciting.
Yeah. How about you? What was your big takeaway, your favorite session, both
from the day?
From the whole day, yeah.
So honestly, this wasn't a huge takeaway and apply, but my favorite session of the day was NovelCon with 5 local authors. Well, 4 local authors and 1 illustrator.
Okay. All local?
All local.
Cool. I'm trying to listen to you and drive at the same time.
You're fine.
Sorry.
No, you're good. I think I liked that because, we've started doing those book talks and it was kind of like listening to the authors give really good book talks. Cool. So I'm hopeful that listening to them will translate to what we continue to do. And then also just kind of they're really interesting, well-rounded people, and it was just cool. It was just cool to talk to them. I've never actually met an author or an illustrator before, and so it was just a different, neat experience. I think the fact that they're local, the fact that they have just interesting lives, reasons for writing and doing what they do. It was just a great experience.
Cool.
So
That sounds fun.
it was fun. I'm glad I went.
Like, I'm happy to be going home today with actionable steps to do. Do you remember what you said to me at lunch? You made a comment to me about, being at this conference and just where we are in our careers and everything in the library. Like, we really are hungry for actionable steps that we can take, things that we can do to either add onto or change what we're doing to make things better for our students.
Well, you've said it before.
As opposed to, like, just motivation, right?
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Currently, we don't need a kick in the butt, right? Like, the motivation's there. We just need maybe a push in the right direction.
At the end of the day, I was talking about how, I like seeing other people's examples of what they're doing in the library, so that we can kind of re-envision that in our own space.
Adapt it,
with our
right? Yes.
So like you're talking about, we are inspired to make the library what our students want and need and can use. So headed home with great ideas, great tools that we can't wait to build on next week, and excited for what tomorrow has to offer. Right?
See you in the morning.
See you in the morning. All right, what'd you just say?
I said one more trip to Murfreesboro.
Here we go, last day of conference. Okay, we are officially at the end of TASLCon 2021.
It's in the books.
In the books. So this morning we got to a few sessions, and one was on student voice, so getting more student voice in the library, and then the other one was Battle of the Books, which was really cool because it was actually presented by a librarian that's really close in vicinity to us. So neat to just get some collaboration there potentially, which is exciting. Tell me what the first thing you're going to do in the library from what you got at TASL.
Yeah, I think the first thing to do is you and I need to get together and figure out, we talked about it yesterday on the ride home, figure out what to do with our nonfiction.
Get a plan.
I think that's the first thing. I think the second thing is I want to put something together to present to our teachers / give to our teachers so they can easily incorporate resources and or specific articles or primary resources that they find on TEL into their classrooms. And then I think the third thing is I got some really good ideas for just doing a few different little things with this YouTube channel,
right? With
the podcast.
Okay.
And then also kind of, and this might be a next year thing, but kind of like a reading challenge thing that we can do school-wide. It's like, it's not super intense, but it's still reading. And I think there's a lot of cool things that can be done there.
Yeah, we've got some big readers at our school.
Sure.
Consistent kids that come in multiple times a week. So we're gonna see if we can create something there with our awesome students. So yeah, TASLCon. It was good stuff.
Yeah, this was our first time, and it was definitely worth our time, I thought.
Yes, we've got some moves we want to make in our library because we attended this conference.
As we do things, I think that as we implement things that we took from the conference, we'll probably talk about them on the podcast. So if you haven't already, subscribe to our podcast, Overdue. You can find that on your favorite podcast app. Check us out on Instagram. We're pretty active there at BDP_library. And
come see us.